So it's that time of the week where we look at all of the SBCs. We've still got a fair amount of icons that we've got to go through. We've had the next kind of juggler of icons and also players to be put into the Dream Chasers. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. Now pretty much the only one to be added for icons is going to be Gerd Muller. Now obviously prices have dropped as well. If you haven't seen, we've got Hullet now coming in at 3.6 mil in comparison to the 5.2 he was originally at just last Monday. Obviously he only came out on the Friday. The market was a little bit high. They've kind of rectified that and the market has dropped an absolute ton. We are as well going into team of the season after the Immortals. We have just had that leaked. So the next season of FC, so season 8 or 9 I want to say it will be, is going to be labelled as team of the season. So we're going to have 9 weeks of that. So players are going to be very interesting, which will affect on who I want to complete in these icon lists. We've now only got Georgie Best on this side. We've then obviously got ourselves the kind of Van Persie at 400, Pirlo at 288. We've got a bit of Torres at 348. We then have Bastian at 500, 200 for Kluivert, 770 for Hullet, 870 for Maldini, 470 for Cole, Bergkamp at 140, 850 for Essien, 3.6 and 420. Just to add with obviously Torres, a big factor of completing him would be the ability to complete the Strike Force evolution. He's one of the big ones in there, as now we have got Suarez, who has officially expired. So if you didn't finish him there, then unfortunately he's unfinishable right now. So the big question is, who will I complete? Not complete. We've got a few different values. Must complete, solid value, okay value, future evo, fodder / SBC storage. So for instance, someone like a player of the month that realistically you're either just using your storage or they are just going to be for fodder and don't complete at all. Now I think the likes of Best will go into okay value with Van Persie. I do like a bit of Pirlo. Torres I think is up there as well. Schweinsteiger at this point now for me would go okay value. I still don't like Kluivert in this. I still don't like Bergkamp in this. I've been looking back at them. Essien would go into okay now for me. Cole would be the same. And then I think for the potential, I would say you've got solid value for Maldini. And I do think as a future Evo, we've got a lot of 89s coming in at the moment of the maxes. I don't think it's going to be too long before we see the 90 Hullet come in. Now, to say that it could be a decent upgrade, I don't know. The first 5 evolutions might be strikers, fullbacks, centre-backs, DMs. It could be centre-forwards, whatever. Like, I know we don't have them, but you know what I mean? It can be totally against the position of Hullet. The first evolution that has Hullet in, everyone will flock to. I guarantee it will be the 4th, 5th or 6th evolution will be the best upgrade for him. He's only got one single playstyle plus. I imagine during team of the season we're going to end up with triple. So you want to make sure you are making that future plan with him, in my opinion anyway. But in general then we've got Gerd Muller and Hullet. I think Hullet's still well worth it for that 94. I would much rather put in the money, and it depends on how much you play the game and just how much fodder you end up getting, because if you can't get the 3.6 mil, then obviously it's not a must complete. But in terms of what he can offer, I think it's much better than waiting for the 90, in my opinion anyway. But the 90 is still a very good option for a future offer as well. I do think Gerd Muller may not be a... It could be a must complete. It all depends, because If you've obviously not done the Strike Force, if you've not done an Mbappe, you've not got a CR7, then maybe going for a Gerd Muller is not a bad option. As a striker, an icon, a triple playstyle plus, he's got everything you need. A triple playstyle plus shooting. Then he's obviously got himself the 5-star, 4-star. Great stats. He's relatively cheaper than most of the SBCs. I think it's a solid striker, but to say he's a must complete, if you've done the Strike Force, if you've done a CR7, I just don't think he compares at this point just yet. But if you are looking at a cheaper option, he's definitely worth the looking at the minimum. Then we obviously have got a lot of the kind of bog standard players, a lot of just player of the months that are fodder, if anything. You've got the likes of Isco coming in at 42, Hogue coming in at 21, even Correa, like the value of him is fantastic. 62,000 for a 92 is pretty decent. 49 for Angelino. Solid cards, but are they really getting into your main team? Even Marquez is a hero. A solid card. It's a good card. It's 91. He's a hero. A double play star plus that are pretty decent. 66,000 coins. But realistically, where are any of these going? Like, even for Beer, what is he doing? He's 91 rated. He's a striker. Low driven and rapid. It's solid. But it's not worth anything to anybody. The amount of strikers, wingers, centre mids, cams that we've got that are way above that price range is absolutely crazy. Even a lot of the FUT birthdays now, they've kind of done it to themselves, other than the top ones of Yaya Toure, Adeyemi, obviously the likes of Tevez, that I think is okay value. I don't even think Tevez is it this time round. I'd say Tevez is kind of coming in okay, maybe even don't complete. You've then got the likes of CR7 that we'll get onto. You've got Monday, going to be more fodder if anything. I think Kolo Muani, you could do him for a future Evo, but he's had loads already that you could part with. A lot of these are going to be solid value, but realistically, they're going to be fodder more so than anything as well. Even Angelino, like realistically, you've probably got your left back already. He's not going to be well worth it. I think Sergio Roberto, to be fair. I think it would be Correa that's in the great value for what he could offer on the pitch. And there's going to be a few that obviously come in cheaper and are still well worth a looking at the minimum. When you do look at the likes of the kind of bottom tier, with obviously the likes of Rolfo at 479, I think realistically right now, I would say more okay value than anything. I don't know if I'd quite go as far to say as decent. Same as Havertz now, to be fair. It's kind of already been taken out of that rotation. I would say if you are looking for the striker version, I don't personally think you'd complete him. The centre mid, I think he's okay. I finished him, and to be honest, I don't think he's really gone into the midfield once. CR7, on the other hand, I think that's a fantastic card. As expensive as he is, and naturally you've got to be able to link him as well, he's got everything you need. And realistically, he is CR7 in this still. He's got the body type in the game. He's a 5-star, 5-star. Rapid finesse, which is fantastic. The stat upgrade is beautiful. And when you look at the team of the year, we know how good that card is. This is going to be a great one for right now, but then also a future Evo if you don't want to have to do a 99 fodder SBC in footies. That's going to be the interesting part for him. But I think as a striker, he's an absolute must. It's just no questions with him, to be honest. We then have a few more of the FUT birthdays that came in. We obviously have got the likes of Scott, of Future coming in with 128, 119. At this point, I think you'd look at kind of both of them as really not complete. It's like maybe a bit of fodder option, but when you've got Guriassi coming in at a 90 as well as them, but coming in for 60,000, it just makes life a little bit easier. When it comes to Salah then, this is always an interesting one because I personally really like the price of the 90 here. He still wouldn't be able to be evoed right now, but he'd be very close like the Hullet. With the 92, it's not going to be possible for a while. I don't like the pinged pass on him. I think it's a good playstyle plus, but if you was to say I want an Evo on this, like we look at the 95 Dream Chaser, we look at the 96 Team of the Season, this isn't going to be your end Salah. We know he's going to get a footies at some point later on, but we could have upgraded the 90. The 89 is getting into some of the Evos, not necessarily crazy amounts, but getting into some of them now, meaning we could have been there a little bit earlier. Whereas I think with this player of the month, it isn't worth it, to be honest. I really don't. The only thing I do like is the fact that they've gone for the 4-4. I maybe could stretch to the okay value, but I don't think that Salah is worth it, in my opinion. I'd have gone for the 90, held him off for the moment because we've had a lot of decent right wings come in. Dembele absolutely trounces him every day of the week. Dembele is outrageously good on the right wing. Salah's phenomenal for his 95, 96. And that's kind of about it for him. Like, I like his top end, kind of like a Griezmann. At the top of his game, unplayable. When it comes to getting up there, the 90, the 91, the 90, it just needs a helping hand. But then we have a look at Yaya. Yaya and Adeyemi both coming in relatively high price. I think Adeyemi was coming in about 400 to 450. And I want to say Yaya was like I'm pretty sure it was like 1.7 at one point. But I can imagine he has dropped a little bit. He is coming in at 1.8, yeah. So he's pretty much around that same sort of spot. I really like him. I thought Yaya's an incredible card. I don't think at this point he's going to be your must complete. I think that would be kind of all revolving around Hullet at this point. So I'd say in terms of what you're getting back from him is solid. Same as Adeyemi. As much as I do think as a left wing he's fantastic, I do think there's still better out there that you could have got. We then look at a few more of the kind of the fodder options more than anything. Doherty is going to go down. Bremer, I wouldn't complete in this kind of market. Maddison is going to be great for a Tottenham team, but he will just be fodder at the very minimum. And same with Van. Obviously, then we go into the Dream Chasers. We've got a few of the road to the finals as well. You've obviously got the likes of Upamecano at 160 versus Ben White at 98. I think for these, it's great to not necessarily go for the overall of where they could be. Like if Ben White got to the final and won it, you could see him as like, what, a 94, 95. You've got to take him on the merit now, but with the chance of being upgraded as well. If they do manage to go through the next round, they get one upgrade, do they go any further and see where they go? I think all of these for me are at least worth a punt. They're not necessarily crazy values. They are solid values at 100 to 150 and you can get a potential return. Not only that, you get a 91 and a 92 back as well. So even if they don't get upgraded, there's still a chance that you can evo them later or put them into fodder later. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well is not bad value. I think he's decent for the price. I don't think he's necessarily an overall beast when it comes to being in the game, but it's one of them, like 80k, it's a good option for him. You could evo him at some point, but realistically, fodder later on down the line. We then have the likes of Gyökeres, a beautiful striker, coming in at 72,000, which is just crazy how cheap everything is going for these cards. Obviously, we had the 91 that was from an objective, but I think you could... I think it was just an objective, in fact. So not bad at all, but 72,000, low driven, press proven. It's a nice card. It's a 5-star, 4-star, great stats across the board. I'd go decent value, realistically. Vasquez is kind of one of them ones that has to be done. Real Madrid are looking on fire. Genuine on fire. They don't look like they're being put out anytime soon. So if you are taking a punt at anybody in this road to the final, I think Real Madrid, or to be honest, Barca. I think Barca's another one that would be worth the punt at the absolute minimum. They're all coming in relatively cheap. You're going to get them for absolute peanuts, and there is a great return back. Like, realistically, between the four of them there, they're all very good options that they could go and win it. Not that they're very much all of them in the shots, but definitely Real Madrid, Barca are kind of the fan favourites. Arsenal could, I mean, if anything, that would be their season. And Bayern Munich, as much as they kind of have that Kane trophy-less kind of haunt over them, this could be it for him. It really could. But in general then, we've got Gabriel, we've got Marquez, and we've got Hogue. Honestly, he's going to be more fodder. Marquez, I think the value's great. I don't think he's going to be a starter, but I think he's a great value. And to be honest, I'd say Gabriel's the same as well. He's got a nice stats on him. He's obviously got the jockey and the anticipate. 150,000. You build an Arsenal team, it's a no-brainer. And I think in general, it's a nice card, but it's not necessarily going to be in many people's starting teams. But let me know down below what you think. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this, and I will catch you all for the next one. Peace.